Oh, I am so doped out excited to offer this amazing training. And it is coming from one of the most divine spots in Central Park in the Conservatory Garden. So it is just absolute. What I am doing this training on is part of why I am here. And this is about your Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti. This is in the yogic traditional teachings what is recognized as the primal feminine power. It is the creative femme power of the universe. And it is this frequency of just the power of femme, the ma, right? And it is so natural and inside all of us. However, because it is such a tremendous power, it is the creation of all things. It is the Godhead, right? The generating, organizing, delivering principle of all things, right? That's why we give birth. As women, we've been built with this biotechnology. And that's why we've been oppressed and exploited and subjugated throughout history. You know, the fear of this power, even in modern times, and how it shows up, causing us to culturally, across culture, play small, not use our voices, and live by all these other rules, which is exactly what this training is going to provide. So those of us that are called to leadership feel, that there's this deep knowing that this power exists. It's there. It runs through us. It's pulsating. It's generating and ready to literally be activated. And again, that is what creates your reality. And when you can put this ignition into your mind-body system, you become completely sovereign. You become you, the elemental you, the essence of you. And then it's so freaking easy to see when you're thinking thoughts that aren't yours, you're operating in habits that aren't yours, you're actually having an experience of your life that isn't yours, what we call relative symbolism. In other words, you're putting together a construct, a narrative of what you think it has to look like to be successful according to someone else's definition of success. And so that's why it doesn't feel good bioenergetically. And that is what you're living, right? And until you can come into this place, and it's not even something that you have to remember or discover or learn, it's simply something you just awaken because it's always been there. And you literally then from that point forward, there's no going back, because you start to feel any aura, any psychomagnetic field that someone's carrying that isn't holding a frequency that feels good to you, or they're trying to project something onto you or exploit you or keep you down. You can stand in your own and you can let that roll off of you rather than feeding it with insecurities of, what did I do wrong? Maybe it's me. I take fault for this. I need to do it differently. And now you can take feedback and you can take other people's opinions. But when you are in your primal power and your Adi Shakti is strong, you can easily take the opinions of others from a very neutral space and see, what's here for me that I can use to my benefit, and discard the rest. And that's it. Super simple. So you can totally reprogram this, right? You could totally reprogram this from many biotechnologies that are available to you right now, right? Within your own mind body system. Again, this primal energy wants to come through you, and you feel it. And there are many people that may not want this, but you're choosing into this awakening, and you can utilize so many different tools to help you strengthen this, activate this, and consistently live from this place. And how do I know? Because I've worked through this too, and continue to work on the activation, the strengthening, and the consistency of being in my Adi Shakti. So some of the tools that I have found to be really helpful, for sure, one of them is the Adi Shakti mantra, which is a really ancient and powerful code, a sound currency. And we say currency for a reason, because it is valuable. It is a code, it is a frequency that you can literally use to vibrate into your entire mind-body system. And I have a few favorites, and I play this throughout the day. I play it, I go to sleep to it, I chant it, and I also use it along with a meditation that is specifically, again, this is a beautiful and very sophisticated biotechnology, a Kundalini meditation that will literally plant this ignition, right? It will ignite your Adi Shakti. It will specifically upload this power into your arc line, which is your sixth body. It's an energetic body. It's basically like your own personal, bio iCloud, your own storage bank. It's basically a storage house, a data center of everything that you've ever done, everything that you said you've wanted to do, but it also stores a lot of data that isn't yours, and it's making your operating system really kind of like slow. It's not functioning at optimal speed, right? And that's what's causing you to run these behaviors and these thoughts that aren't yours, that feel really exhausting and depleting. So you can reprogram, right? You can reprogram. So we've got mantra, we've got meditation, and you can reprogram this through travel. So one of the reasons why I'm here in Central Park is because I know that I can come to places that carry a certain frequency, that carry a certain vibration, that can help fast track your sensory system to continue its reprogramming and to come into this primal power. It also, when you travel, it allows you to see kind of where you've been, right? And I can see, interesting, how this psychomagnetic field is running a certain pulse and pattern that doesn't feel that good to me. And the more that you can come into the Adi Shakti, then it doesn't really matter where you go, because you'll always be anchored in that. However, as you're igniting and strengthening this, travel really helps to fast track you, and also helps you to, sometimes you just need to purify and exfoliate a little bit. And so choosing to come to places where you know there's going to be a certain kind of a frequency that is beneficial to you is really so nourishing. And it allows you to start to kind of get into a rhythm with life, and cultivating what we call your rhythmic intelligence, which is basically like the understanding that there's one natural law. Well, there are a few natural laws, right? But this one natural law is indisputable, like gravity. And the natural law is that energy will always flow, and will always find the most efficient way to flow. So what does that mean? It means that nature is always in rhythm. Nature is always in flow. What's not is us. When we're not in our Adi Shakti, when we're not in our true elemental selves with our own rules and our own dignity and our own sovereignty, we're running someone else's definition. And so we get out of sync. And then we find ourselves stuck and in places where we think we have to figure out all the answers, and we feel isolated, and we feel alone, and we feel miserable and stressed, and it's out of sync. And clearly, you can start to see, wait a minute, these problems, like, they're not even mine. You realize that half the thoughts you're thinking, probably more, are not even yours. And you're trying, to pull these thoughts in and actually having problems that aren't even yours. And it becomes really funny. I just allowed myself some space and experience this week because I saw a next level of expansion coming, and the opportunity to strengthen my primal power, and choosing to take the opportunity, however it was packaged, and lean into it. And what I was able to be with was a new like something else is here, and I feel even stronger now. And because I was able to see a very heavy problem running that wasn't my own. However, my brain did not want to let go of it. And so a lot of fear came up, and this might happen for you too, which is great. And it's simply just noticing it. So the plan that I created around knowing that perhaps I started to smell the fear around the corner. It's like, I'm going to face this problem, and now I see it's not mine. Yet what's kicking up is, well, if I let go of this problem, then I've got a lot of time on my hands, and that's awesome, but I got a lot of time on my hands to face reinventing myself, shifting my identity away from what I thought was my own belief, which isn't. And so there's that coming back to shunyaya, the 0 point, and it can be a little, and the solution is that there is no solution for you to figure out. You allow that solution to come to you, because that's the beauty of Adi Shakti. And now you start to see. So first, I just allowed myself to just be there, and what came through was, grieve the loss, Diane. Now, I couldn't have figured that out. That came to me, that came through me, because I didn't create the busyness of trying to figure stuff out and the noise in my head of trying to move through something. I just let the pain be there and trusted that my body, in its own sovereignty, already has all the answers, and it's just me in my mind staying out of the way and letting nature take its course. Letting nature take its course. What a beautiful cliche. It's cliche for a reason. Let nature take its course, because when you do, you see that life is really freaking easy. So I grieved the loss. I took my time. I forgave myself. And as I just gave myself that space, started to just feel the healing, and it really is that easy. And now it's fun. So now you know when you create that for yourself, then you see, okay, what are actually my problems? Like, we all have our own problems. That's why we're here. I mean, it's part of being human. That's the fun of being human. And I call this liberated ambition. Meaning, when you're in your primal power, you have desires, but those desires are so pure in your piety. They are free from, pleading and hoping and wishing and fighting. Like everything has to be a struggle. I just fight for what I get, and the indignance, or I deserve this because I'm a good person, or please God, please could I just have that nice house? Like you just desire for the simple fact that you're here to create things out of nothing, to find meaning. That's what we get to do as human beings. And that is really delightful and really fun. And it's the richness of life. So when you're presented with a problem, you see first, is it yours? It is. And this is the test I now give myself. I know a problem is mine when I'm enticed by it. It excites me. It sparks my curiosity. And even if it's like impossible and feels really daunting, there is still that intrigue and that mystery that's wanting me to open its doors and unlock its treasures. And that's when you start to see like life is just a cool puzzle. When you're standing in your own inner caliber, you're having fun. And then you just say, okay, like what's the easiest way of doing this? And you open up. And then when things aren't going according to plan, you're building your Lego castle and something gets broken, you're not gonna freak out. You're like, oh well, there's probably a better way of building it. And you just take the breath and you just allow. Maybe you walk away for a moment and just, oh yeah, actually, this was actually a better way of doing it. But even that process is fun and energizing. It's nourishing and it's not depleting. And you keep coming back to it. There are other practices that you can do too. And again, this is all about you strengthening your primal power. So seeing problems that aren't yours, exfoliating them, and then once you see the ones that are yours, being in wonder and mystery. And you can do a practice. There's great spiritual practices to help you again come from that place of primal power. And one of the practices is to do things that feel foreign and awkward to you, right? I took on a kind of a spiritual challenge to do morning mystical poetry writing. Now, poetry is something that I did love when I was a kid and dropped it. And I haven't done any of it in 3 decades. And I've made it a daily practice. Every morning, the first thing I do when I get up is write a poem. And my spiritual mentor guided me to do this in the dark in a supine position. So it is awkward, it is difficult, and it is opening me up in so many rich, fertile ways. It's only been a couple of weeks. So pick something that isn't in your wheelhouse and allow yourself to be with the expansiveness of it, because again, this is all about strengthening your primal power. And you may find like, oh, I actually, me and my primal power, this poetry thing isn't for me, or whatever it is. Or even if it isn't, that there's something that is really hard, but there's a piece of it you love. Like this writing supine, I keep wanting to flip over. Like it's really hard, and I'm like, there's something a little bit mysterious in it though. I'm gonna just do it like this. The poetry itself I can do, but this lying upside down kind of deal, like, but it's not enough that it's like I reject it. And even that, I mean, that's a whole other training. So all solutions and plans, they already exist in the information field, in the quantum space. All plans and solutions exist. And when you are you in your true self, and you are in sync, and you are in rhythm with the world, with the cosmos, you get to drop all of the neurotic behaviors of why life has to be so hard when it really doesn't. And that is what I wanted to share. There is a beautiful guide that goes along with this. I will share meditations. I will share the mantra, the music I listen to, the practices, and even some wonderful nutrition to support the consistent activation of your Adi Shakti.